Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Guys, if you want some NVIDIA stock, the good folks at Moo Brokerage are willing to give you some NVIDIA stock when you open up a new Moo Brokerage account. First link down in the description box, click on that Moo link. It will give you all the details on the NVIDIA stock offer. Don't miss this opportunity, man, to start the holiday season off right. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself, guys. Well, all right. I ain't gonna keep you long. I want to talk to you guys about the Federal Reserve Chairman, at his Jackson Hole, Wyoming meeting, just went on record, guys, and confirmed rate cuts in September. Here's the headline. Fed's Powell may be time for another rate cut amid unusual job market. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell opened the door to cutting interest rates in a much anticipated speech Friday. He didn't fully walk through, though. All that's telling you guys is he don't want to let the cat out the bag, in my opinion. The Fed gonna cut them rates, in my opinion now, in September, at their September 17th Fed meeting. And the reason they're gonna cut is because of a weakening labor market. You got to understand, guys, the two primary mandates of the Federal Reserve. Number one, price stability. They have to control inflation. Number two, to maximize employment. And guess what? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place because there is evidence that inflation is starting to creep up. But there is even more evidence that the labor market is weakening. And guess what? That labor market, in my opinion, is more important than inflation. They cannot allow the labor market to weaken worse than it already is, because that would be catastrophic. That would turn into a recession. So in my opinion, even though Fed Chair Jerome Powell is coming on record saying rate cuts, and he's not 100% guaranteeing it, I just think that's a way for him to be able to keep things in perspective. I think he will cut rates. I think the Federal Reserve will cut rates no matter what they say. I think they will cut these rates, guys. They got no other choice. But guess what? The market responded very well to that vote of confidence from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. They responded very well to that. And if you go look at the stock market, and again, guys, this is not financial advice. This is not me trying to give anybody financial advice. This is just me simply giving you guys some indication of what my interpretation of what the Fed chair just said at Jackson Hole. What I heard him say was, the labor market is in trouble, and we got to do something in order for us to make sure we cut that off. We cannot allow this labor market to continue to deteriorate. They can't. Also, what I believe that signaling is, even though this current administration is out here doing what they're doing with the immigration thing, you guys got to understand, in our country, a lot of our labor market is built around immigrants. People who are just getting here, trying to get their feet wet, trying to get employed, trying to take care of them and their families. And again, guys, this is not a political channel, and I'm not trying to be political right now. I'm just telling you, a part of our labor market is immigrants. And when you have this fear around the United States that immigrants currently have right now because of this deportation effort by our administration, that's weakening our labor market. People are afraid to go to work. They're afraid to come out of their house. So the labor market, in my opinion, guys, has the potential to continue declining. And I think that's what Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is saying is, listen, our mandate is to have maximum employment. And right now we don't have maximum employment. Even though inflation is creeping up a little bit, we still have to make sure we maintain the best employment we can, because if we don't do that, guess what's going to happen? Recession. That's right, guys. Recession. That's what's going to happen. So what I think you're going to see happen leading up to September 17th, which is the next Fed meeting, you're going to start seeing more and more conversation and color around this rate cut. It has to happen at this point, guys. It has to happen. Here's another thing you got to understand. I don't believe the Federal Reserve will have any faith in the next jobs report that comes out for August, which they will get in September before their September 17th meeting. I don't believe the Federal Reserve has any faith in that report because, of course, you guys know what happened. President Trump decided to fire the person that was in charge of the labor statistics at the federal government level. He got rid of that person. He did not like that report that came out for July, so he fired her. Now he's brought in his own guy. And a lot of people believe gonna be funny math. It's gonna be some funny math on those numbers for the jobs report in August and going forward. And I believe the Federal Reserve knows that. I think the Federal Reserve, and again, guys, this is just my opinion now. You go out and do your own homework and figure this thing out for yourself. But I'm giving you my opinion. My opinion is this: Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and the people that's on that committee, the FOMC committee, they believe they will not get any legitimate labor statistics data going forward. They believe that. So the only way that they can really combat this thing, guys, is they got to reduce rates. To do what? Stimulate the economy. See, when you lower rates, that's just like turning back on the money supply, right? When you lower rates, what does that do? It makes money cheaper to borrow. So these companies out here that may have gotten hit with tariffs that they didn't expect, now these companies can do what? They can go out and borrow money cheaper to be able to invest in their growth, invest in hiring people. Now, a lot of you might say, well, golly, where are you going to get these people from? Especially with this effort that's underway to, take out all the immigrants. And again, I'm no expert here and I'm not trying to be one, guys. I'm just giving you my little opinion. Whether you are for it or against it, that's your business. I don't got a dog in the fight. I'm just giving you my opinion on why I think the Fed will cut rates, and they will cut rates because of the labor market is weakening. And the reason the labor market is weakening, one aspect of that is because of this concerted effort to wipe out undocumented immigrants. Whether you're for it or not, that's your business. I don't got a dog in the fight. I'm just giving you what my opinion is. But I think that's why you see the Fed taking the posture. And they quickly made sure, or at least Fed Chair Jerome Powell, he quickly made sure that people understood it was not from the pressure from President Trump. Right? He made sure that. He made sure he said that. This is not because of pressure from the current administration. The reason we're considering rate cuts in September is because of the weakening labor market. Now, there are some things the Federal Reserve Chairman is not going to say. Why? Because he's a professional. He's a professional. He understands he cannot allow his personal feelings or his personal opinion to cloud his professional judgment. That's a pro. This is the way pros do it. But see, here's the thing that happens though. When you're in a situation like we're kind of in right now in our country where you have power concentrated in one individual, no longer do you have power spread out like, it should be. You got power concentrated in one individual, holds all the power. And the way that person holds all the power is he surrounds himself, in my opinion, with people who have serious jobs, but in my opinion are not the most qualified people for those jobs. That's just my opinion. You may have a different opinion, and that's okay. Last time I checked, we can agree to disagree in the United States. Or have they taken that away from us too? Can we not agree to disagree anymore? Y'all let me know down in the comment box. I don't know, because things are changing, right? And all I can tell you, man, is you better get yourself in position to be able to protect yourself financially. A lot of us looked at what happened this past week in the markets, and we looked at that as a doomsday. One thing I've realized, guys, over these, if you look at the .com depression, if you look at the GFC, which is the Great Financial Crisis Depression, or if you go look at the most recent pandemic depression, those are the three triggers, right, that I can remember recently that shocked and it shook our markets. What is one thing in common in those three markets? What happened? What's one thing that is common between those three depressions? Is that our federal government did not allow the markets to get to a point where they couldn't recover. Think about it. Think about .com bubble. What happened after .com? All-time highs. What happened after GFC? All-time highs. What happened after the Great Pandemic Depression? All-time highs. One thing that this government is not going to allow to happen is the markets to not be able to recover, guys. And how do they protect that? They turn on the money printer. They're going to turn on that money printer, and they're going to artificially pump as much money as they need to pump into our economy in order to kickstart it. See, here's the thing, though. Here's what separates the 1% from the 99%. See, when the government starts pumping that money back into the economy, the 1% take that money, and guess what they do with it? They multiply it. They multiply it. Think about it. .com bubble. They multiply that money printer. Same thing happened in the Great Financial Crisis. The 1% multiplied that money, that free money, that stimulus. Same thing in the pandemic. See, the key, what you got to understand here, in my opinion, guys, is no matter what happens, they will not allow the stock market, in my opinion now, this is not, I'm not a professional. I'm not trying to give any financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinion. Please go out and do your own homework. Please go talk to a financial advisor, whoever you need to talk to that can help you. I'm not here to help you make financial decisions. I can't help you do that. I'm just here to give you my opinion. You got to go out and figure out how to make your own decisions. That's not what I do here. I'm just giving you my opinion. In my opinion, the Federal Reserve and the United States Treasury, they got to work together. So what does the Federal Reserve do? They supply the money. What does the Treasury do? What does Treasury do? So when they supply this money, the Treasury then sells debt. The Treasury sells debt through Treasury bonds, Treasury notes, Treasury, what do they call them? It's bonds, notes, and bills, right? So you got the Federal Reserve. They make the money. They create the money. They pump that money into the system. And then you got the United States Treasury that take that money and they sell it off as debt, right? So what they do is they take these bonds, these Treasury bills, these notes, and corporations buy them, individuals buy them, other countries buy them. But in order to do that, guess what? What has to happen? What has to happen? We got to give them an interest rate. And the worst off our economy is, the worst off our financial system is, we have to pay them a premium in order to do what? Invest in the United States. When they're buying those bonds, guys, they're just investing in the United States. And then we take that money and do what with it? We run our country. We pay our bills. We run the government. Because see, you got to understand, we here in the United States, we operate at a deficit, not a surplus. We operate at a deficit. So we collect about $4 trillion in taxes, but our expenses are about 7 trillion. So that leaves us about 3 trillion short. Where do you think we get that money from? By issuing treasury bonds, notes, bills, and paying folks interest rates. The better our economy is, the stronger our financial system is, the lower interest rate we have to pay somebody to invest in the United States. But right now we're in a situation where a lot of the international investment market believe we're in a decline. So now when the Treasury has these treasury auctions to sell these treasury bonds, bills, notes, guess what? In order to get people to trust us and invest in us, guess what we got to do? We got to pay them a premium. I also read something earlier this week where for the first time in the history of the United States, we've eclipsed $37 trillion in national debt. Congratulations, America. We made it. Congratulations. We just hit $37 trillion in national debt. Well, I thought the whole purpose of the big, beautiful bill was to pay down the debt. When does that start? I don't know, just asking a question. Drop it down in the comment. Just let me know, when do we start paying down this $37 trillion in national debt? When do we start paying it down? Since we're collecting billions and trillions of dollars in tariff tax, since we got all these foreign countries saying that they're going to invest trillions and trillions of dollars into America, when do we start paying the debt down? Just a question. You guys may want to answer that down in the comment, because I don't know the answer to that. I'm just trying to figure out, when do we start paying down this $37 trillion in debt? Since we're collecting all of this tariff money that I hear a lot about. Every day I turn on social media and I'm strolling through social media, I see people on there saying that we're collecting so much money in tariff revenue, so much money in other countries that said they're going to make all these huge, Japan says it's over, what did they say? 600 billion or something like that they were going to just invest in them. Okay. When is that going to pay down the debt? When does the debt get paid down? Somebody help me. When does the $37 trillion in debt get paid down? That's all I'm asking. Just somebody answer that for me. When does the $37 trillion, most debt we've ever had in the history of the world for one country, $37 trillion, and it's growing. When do we start paying that down, since we're collecting all of this money? I don't know. You guys got to answer that. Well, thank you, Fed Chair Jerome Powell. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for at least putting that 25 basis point rate cut on the agenda for September 17th. I appreciate that. We need it. We need it. We need that rate cut. Here's the question though, guys. What are you doing in order to build your wealth and secure your financial legacy? What are you doing in order to protect yourself from the 1%? What are you doing? Please do something, guys. Go just look at history. Go look at these last 3 great depressions, recessions, whatever you want to call them. I'm talking about the dot-com bubble. I'm talking about the great financial crisis, and I'm talking about the great pandemic. What did you do? Why is it when you go look at history, it says after all 3 of those catastrophic events, the 1% got wealthier? Why did the 1% get wealthier? Because our government is not going to let the stock market fail, guys. You do understand that, right? And again, this is all my opinion. No expert here, just giving you a basic opinion. You got to go out and do your own homework. If you're not comfortable making any of your financial decisions, go hire you a financial advisor, a licensed financial advisor to help you. I'm not one. I'm just a guy on YouTube giving you his opinion. Could be 100% wrong. But let me ask you, why after all three of those major events did the 1% get even wealthier? Because they take the free money that they get from our government. See, our government, in my opinion, is more interested in making sure the top 1% of Americans are okay. And they do that through what? The money printer. Pumping trillions and trillions of dollars into our economy, which then the 1% take those trillions and trillions of dollars and invest it. And a little old thing called the stock market, and a little old thing called real estate, and a little old thing called business. That's what the 1% do when they get that free money. See, here's the thing. The bottom 50% of Americans, if they get $1, the problem is they're spending $1.15. So they never participate in any of the upside from any of these so-called crashes. They never participate. Think about it. A week ago, everything seemed crazy in the market. Stocks going down, everything going down. What does the bottom 50% of Americans do? They panic. They panic. What do the 1% do? They buy more. They double down. Because they know that our federal government will never let the stock market not come back and come back stronger. Why? Because they're going to pump money into the economy. See, we got the ability to print money, guys, through the Federal Reserve, and then the United States Treasury sells that free money. And then the 1% take it, and they continue to double down in the stock market. That's what they do. They double down. While we sit around here in panic mode, while we sit around here worried about all the wrong things, while we sit around here and get on social media and fight with each other about stuff we can't even control. That's what we do. While the 1%, what do? They just keep doubling down. They keep widening that wealth gap. That's what they're doing right now. Go look and see what the market is doing right now. Who do you think was buying up all this stuff a week ago? 1%. Now look at it. Just my opinion, guys. Drop it down in the comment box. Love to hear your opinion. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I got to get out of here, but check this thing out. If you want to be wealthy, you got to think like the wealthy. Like I said, man, if you're interested in those NVIDIA stock, get down to the description box, that first link, which is that Moomoo link, and go check out the Moomoo offer. If you open up a new Moomoo brokerage account, you put a certain amount of money, a certain deposit into your new Moomoo brokerage account, they'll give you some NVIDIA stock. So go check that out if that's something that you think you're interested in. Wealth Builders Financial Community on Patreon. That's the second link down in the description box. That's my community on Patreon, where all we do in there is try and help each other get to that financial freedom thing and that passive income thing. That's all we do. None of us are experts. None of us try to be experts. We're just regular people, man, out here trying to figure out what the 1% are doing so that we can participate and hopefully at some point get to our financial freedom and some passive income where we can control our financial destiny. If you want to be a part of that group, all you got to do is click on that second link. It'll take you over to Patreon. Sign up. Come join us. We'd love to have you. Well, I appreciate y'all, guys. You have a rest of a wonderful Friday. I'll check back in this afternoon with you to see how things are going, but I had to jump on here and let y'all know rate cuts coming. Get yourself in position. Get in position, man. Rate cuts are coming. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind. You can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. Catch you guys on the next video.